Generally speaking, when you're banning a hero, there's one of these three reasons. The first reason is that because it's incredibly overpowered or it's just really annoying to play against, so you're like, get it out the match. The second reason is maybe it's for a team up, something like Penny's team up, very annoying to deal with, so on some maps you might end up banning her or Rocket. Then you have the third reason where just straight up ban your own teammates. And Jeff, I am looking at you. However, we're still only limited to 4 bans. What would happen if we had more bans? Do you think that we need more bans? That's what we're gonna talk about today. Let's talk bans. Now, for the most part, the hero pool is pretty small, so some of you guys might think we don't need more bans, but I know some of you guys are like, even though it's small, there's a lot of characters that I would like to get out. So I wanted to make this video and share with you maybe possible solutions to getting more bans, and I want to see what you guys think about it. One of the first solutions is to give every player the ability to ban a character. I don't know if you've ever played ranked and got frustrated that your ban didn't get through, or maybe your ban did get through and people flamed you for it. I know there's a lot of this going on when you're talking about like banning Magic. I've been banning Magic since season 0, and I'm getting a lot of like hive mind ban, and I'm just like, bruh, what are you talking about? Magic is just dumb. A lot of people, especially at higher ranks, get upset when your ban gets through if it's not what majority of the players want. So they're gonna get mad and criticize you and basically just have an awful experience in the lobby before the match even starts. Sometimes they'll even say something like, your character counters, why would you ban that one? And it just doesn't make sense to me. Just because there's a counter doesn't mean you automatically win the matchup. If a character is annoying, the player should have the right to ban the character that they feel are annoying. I feel like having a ban for each player, so that's 12 bans, would eliminate this and make it feel better for each person. However, the fact that there's not many heroes in the game right now, having the ability to ban 12 characters means you can ban out an entire class. So I don't think we would get to this point until maybe we have like 100+ characters. I know in League of Legends, a game that I used to coach, speaking of coaching, if you guys don't like coaching, check the links down below for coaching and free replay reviews in the description. Check that out. But League of Legends has a ban for each character, but it took them a very long time to even get to that point. I don't see it happening with this one. So maybe a ban for each player might be a little bit overkill right now, but what do you guys think about that option? The second solution could just be no duplicate bans. If you guys have ever banned a character and you notice that both teams ban the same thing, you only get 2 bans. But if you had the system say, okay, well that team had this ban, so this team won't get it banned, then you can come up with 4 bans every single match and not feel like you're wasting any by banning the same exact thing. For the most part, especially in higher ranks, people generally have the same idea of what they want to ban. Now, bans do tend to change from rank to rank as well, from server to server. Not every single server or every single platform or every single rank bans the same character, but you usually, if you're in that rank, on that server, on that platform, you guys generally will have the same type of bans in any given match that you play in. So eliminating duplicate bans means that you can essentially always get 4 bans. There's not going to be 3, and in worst cases 2. Now we do have to again think about, well, if there were people to ban almost every DPS diver, there would be no diver for the DPS players to play. This is something that a lot of developers kind of think about when they think about bans. They don't want a whole class getting banned out, and they don't want a whole role getting banned out. So again, this kind of still is an extension of each player having their own ban, but instead of 12, it's going to be 4. It could still be a bit harmful, but just not as harmful as 12, let's be honest. But of course, I just want to know your idea. What do you guys think about having no duplicate bans? The system will just register the fact that one team banned it, so the other team can't have it, and it will ban something else the other team decided to pick. The third solution could be a ban for each role. Maybe instead of having just 2 bans outright, you have a ban for each role. So both teams can choose 1 tank to ban. If it's a duplicate, it's a duplicate, but each role is going to get something banned out. I honestly think I would like this the most, because there are times I want to ban out a support, but like my team wants the support. So having the player be able to already have it in mind to ban out a support instead of just thinking like, okay, ban out the DPS, to have them be like, okay, what tank do we want to ban? What DPS do we want to ban? What support do we want to ban? I don't know if that would like change anything, honestly, but I would like that. But I guess there are some times where you want to ban more than 1 DPS, you want to ban more than 1 tank, and you just wouldn't be able to do so with that system. Now, there could be more ideas out there, but I just wanted to share these 3 ideas because I've just seen them in other games before, and I was like, I wonder if Marvel Rivals ever thought about increasing their bans, and if they did, would they ever do it in any ways that I just explained in this video? I think for the most part, once it gets to 100 plus characters, I think they would give the ability to have each player ban a character. But I think for right now, they might not really be looking at that. The main reason is because the ban system isn't there to just say, get the characters that you hate out the game. Characters that are annoying in games are designed to be annoying in games. So people might think that Black Panther, Spider-Man, Iron Fist are annoying, and they are. Magic, I Hate You in particular, but they are designed to be that way. So anytime that players think that, oh, this character is stupid and I hate the design and I don't know why, the developers wanted it to be that annoying. So if you ever get frustrated, be mad at them because they did it on purpose. They know specifically. But for the most part, it's not for you to ban just every single character, right? It's there to give you some power, some control, but they don't want you to just ban out everything that you hate. That wouldn't really make the game fun, especially for the players that want to play that character. But as I said, I wanted to make this video because I found myself in a spot where I wish there were a little bit more bans. Whether or not it would hurt the game, I wouldn't know. That's the developer's job to figure that one out. But sometimes I am just like, man, I wish we could ban you, you, and you, but I can't because I can only ban that one character. So sometimes it's just like, it just makes me think. But that's why I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should get more bans? And if so, how should the ban system work? Or how many bans should we get? But now let's move into the second half of the video called Let's Talk. If you guys want to ask me any question, know my thoughts on anything, make sure you do that at hashtag Let's Talk, and I will use your comment in the next video and we'll talk about it and we'll explore our thoughts behind it as not just me as the creator, but you as the community. This comment is from Kato. They said, good gosh, this game needs better matchmaking and placements. Like people are saying roll queue will increase the wait time. I'd rather wait 5 minutes than have games where we just roll people or get rolled with no in between. I see this a lot. Players say that, well, roll queue ruined Overwatch. And I think the issue is that people just compare Overwatch with Marvel Rivals too much. But this is kind of just how we work as humans. We like to just compare things. That's just what we like to do. And so any game, as an example, Foam Stars and Splatoon, or League of Legends and Dota, or Call of Duty, and there was another game, Medal of Honor, I think was the one. So like people just continue to compare Left 4 Dead. There was another, World War Z or something like that, right? There's so many games that just get compared. But I think we need to realize that people that play specific games have different communities. So I don't like playing Overwatch. It's not because I think the game sucks or anything like that. And I don't want to see that in the comments. I know some of you guys will be like, well, Overwatch does suck. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. The character designs weren't for me. I just wasn't in that. However, I really enjoy Marvel Rivals. You can kind of see that I'm not part of the Overwatch community. So how would their decisions affect my enjoyment? You know what I mean? So when it comes to the roll queue, I really do just any idea, not roll queue specifically, but just any idea. I hate seeing the comparison and thinking that it won't work for Marvel Rivals. I think we should let Marvel Rivals try things, and if it doesn't work after they tested it, then it doesn't work. But to just ignore it is kind of a little bit of, it's kind of a messed up thing to do. You know, just to say that, well, it won't work, so don't try it because this didn't work for that game. It doesn't, that's just kind of like a awful way to think about it, because that just basically says you don't want Marvel Rivals to grow and you just rather keep it the exact same. That type of thought process I don't think is a great thing to have. Generally speaking, in low rank, everyone is kind of the same skill, but in higher ranks, you could tell which players just don't belong, and I've been seeing a lot of that. And I mostly see it with dive DPS players. They cannot do anything else. If they cannot dive, they are one of the worst type of players to have on your team. If it does not work, they do not know how to turn their brains into anything other than diving. And I've noticed a lot of strat players don't really understand how to play strat. Like, they don't know how to use their ultimates properly. They don't know how to position properly. They just whine and complain about peel, even though there's no divers on the enemy team. So there's a lot of inconsistencies in terms of the skill when it comes to the game. And this is because in season 0, and I think partially in season 1, everyone was just allowed to climb. It wasn't really like, we want you to struggle, because Marvel Rivals is a casual game. They want to give people the ability to just feel the achievement, right? And so that was the point. However, we created this horrible experience in the rank ladder where a lot of players are a lot higher than they should be. And that also brings ego into the equation. So instead of getting better, they just think their teams suck. And then you have a whole paradox of nobody getting better and a whole can of worms that I don't really want to talk about in this video. But for the most part, I do kind of see where you're coming from. I would definitely rather wait a few minutes. And even if it does take maybe 2 or 3 minutes, they could just add a fill system so that way it doesn't take longer, something that League of Legends does, and queue times don't take as long. But who knows? Who knows what they'll do? I do think we are in due for a ladder reset and maybe MMR, matchmaking rating, so that way we can have placements. I think that would be very beneficial. This next one is from Symphony. Hashtag let's talk. I'm stuck in a loop of ranking up to Platinum 3 and then falling back to Gold 1. The main issue I'm having is that my Plat 3 teammates tend to give up before we've won or before we've even halfway through the round. That happens a lot. For example, my teammate starts on defense. As a support player, I use Invisible Woman on defense. The other team completes the push and scores 3 points. Now it's our turn to push. I play Cloak and Dagger on offense. As soon as it's our turn to start, someone initiates a surrender. This starts a downward spiral of defeat. How do I help my team and put the fire back under their butts? I'm sure I can get to Plat 1 if this issue wasn't persistent or present in every other game. This happens a lot, and what I've noticed is that players that tend to behave out of the realm of like out of the normal realm, like they'll pick Black Widow to try to troll and stuff like that, or they'll put up a surrender vote or say that, oh, GG, game over. They just want attention. You know, a lot of the players that play this game want attention, and when they behave that way, it's like a baby or a toddler just crying, and you know, they just want attention. If you don't give it attention, they'll start playing the game normally, and that's generally what I see in every game, not just Marvel Rivals. They don't want to behave that way throughout the entire match. They just want attention. So if you don't give them attention and you focus on winning the game, they'll see how kind of dumb they look in a sense, and then they'll just focus back on winning the match. That's typically what I do, whether it's low rank or high rank. It will work most of the time. Now, sometimes some players are just over it, but that tends to happen. It's a competitive game and people get frustrated and we just don't want to play anymore. I've been there. I've never typically AFK'd, but I kind of gave up on the inside and didn't play as hard as I could have. But that's just part of being human. You know, sometimes we just get to the point where it's like, I really don't want to play this match out anymore. We're getting stomped pretty hard and I don't want to win. But that is a rare feeling for me. It's probably like once out of like every 150 to 200 matches. But if people are arguing or like they're trolling or they're AFKing or we have a disconnect, like I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna AFK, but I am gonna just chill out because I don't really want to play this. We're not gonna win anyway. So if I were you, again, I would just ignore it, continue to play your game, and I guarantee they will follow suit most of the time. Should the player not, and they continue to troll and behave the way that they behave, report them. Coming into season 3.5, so within this next week, we're gonna have more harsh punishments for players that do this type of stuff, and you're gonna get credited point deduction. So you're not gonna lose as many points for having someone AFK or, you know, do things like that. So this is gonna be a great season for everybody in terms of player behavior. So that's my advice to you. Again, if you guys want to have your own comment read on the screen and know my thoughts about it as well as the community, make sure you put that hashtag Let's Talk in the comments down below, and I will read your comment on the next Let's Talk video. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Happen often. Well often.